What did God mean when he told Moses to eat bread made without yeast during the Passover? Because it was a head-on collision with Pharaoh. Everyone was battle ready. 9 strict plagues came on the land of Egypt, and God is saying, I'm going to bring the last one and Pharaoh will release you. But make sure that on that day, bake bread made without yeast. What does that thing mean? Because surely God cannot be on such a serious mission and focus on a loaf of bread and say, make sure that when you are baking your bread, eat it without yeast. Because till today in Israel, people still eat bread made without yeast. I think I am the only man of God who eats amagwenya, who eats fat cooks during the Passover, and I'm comfortable with that. Welcome to my church, where the blind receive sight and the deaf start to hear. Today you will find out what it means to eat bread made without yeast. It is in the book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 17 to 18. Listen to what God says to Moses. Says to Moses, celebrate the festival of unleavened bread, because it was on this very day that I brought your divisions out of Egypt. Celebrate this day as a lasting ordinance for the generations to come. In the first month, you are to eat bread made without yeast from the evening of the 14th day until the evening of the 21st day. God turns his direction and focuses on a loaf of bread. What is he talking about? John chapter 6, verse 51. Let us get into business. I am the bread that came down from heaven. Whoever eats this bread will live forever. This bread is my flesh, which I will give you for the life of the world. These are the words of Jesus Christ when he was talking with his disciples. But he never gave them his body and said, this is bread, eat my body. Nobody ate his body. So what is this bread? John 1 verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God himself. The Word was Christ himself. Luke 24 verse 35. After Jesus died, and two guys were walking in the streets, and they meet a certain guy who doesn't look like Jesus at all, that those guys were walking with this person and they are not aware that it is Jesus himself. But for them to recognize that this person with a strange face is Jesus, listen to how they recognized. Luke 24 verse 35. Then the two told what had happened on the way and how Jesus was recognized by them when he broke the bread. When he broke the bread, the way he broke the bread made these guys to realize that this guy is the Lord. Imagine a person having a loaf brown. After he gives you loaf brown, you say, no, this is Jesus Christ. A person with a strange face, just because he broke the bread, you say this is Jesus Christ. What is this bread that we are talking about? Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 16, verse 5 to 12, so that you can understand. When Jesus was with his disciples, one day they were traveling and they had no bread with them. And Jesus says to them, be on your guard. Be careful, be very careful that you do not eat the yeast of the Pharisees. After he told them this, the disciples started grumbling on the corner and talking, mumbling words, saying to themselves, is it because we did not bring any bread that he is saying we must not eat the yeast of the Pharisees? Then Jesus says to them, come here, guys. Don't you remember the 5 loaves and the 2 fish for the 4,000? Don't you remember how I made miracles and served people with bread? How is it that you don't understand that I am not talking about bread? When they were eating 5 loaves and 2 fish, we are not talking about food. They were eating something else. What is that thing? Because he told them, eat bread made without yeast. Even on this verse, he's saying, be on your guard against the yeast of the Pharisees. Then it says, then the disciples realized that he was not talking to them about bread. In fact, he was talking about the yeast of the Pharisees, which means the teaching of the Pharisees. So when we say don't eat bread that has yeast in it, we are saying don't go and listen to a teaching of a sangoma during the Passover. When you are fasting and you are waiting for God to deliver you, don't go and listen to somebody who is telling you wrong things. Don't go and listen to false doctrines. Only eat the bread that fell from heaven. One day, the Israelites were traveling in the wilderness and they were hungry. They say God tested them to hunger and then fed them with manna, food that neither they knew, their parents knew, or their forefathers knew, so that he can teach them that man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God. So the bread that we are talking about is the word of God, Christ. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God Himself. So He was telling them, eat the words of God. When you are facing a battle, eat the word of God. When you are applying for a job, eat the word of God. Don't go and listen to a sangoma telling you, let's go, I will give you muti. Come to my ndumba. Don't listen to them. Only eat bread that is made without yeast, the pure word of God. Don't dilute the word of God. Don't mix the word of God with muti. Don't mix the word of God with water. Don't mix the word of God with candles. Don't mix the word of God. As pure as it is, it works. Don't eat bread made with yeast. Khotso, ayibelele na.